Access Fort Wayne offers reflections of our community. Production facilities provided by Access Fort Wayne are a service of the Allen County Public Library. The views and opinions expressed do not necessarily represent those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting organizations. For more information about creating your own television program with Access Fort Wayne, call 421-1250.
Hello and welcome to the American Veteran. I'm Dale Parrish, your host, with Carl Fowler as co-host. With us today is David Miller and Jason Smith. They have both been on previous shows. Our guest today is Vernan Medaugh.
Medaugh.
I see on your hat you was the 3rd Division, 3 Purple Hearts, and 2 Bronze Stars. Is that right?
Right.
Well, we're lucky to have you here then.
Thank you.
And thank you for your service.
Thank you.
When was you?
I went in, I'm not too good on dates, but I think it was June 8th. And I started a basic training July the 4th.
Of what year?
1943.
43.
Mm-hmm. We had 8 weeks basic training. They gave us a week to get from Camp Wheeler, Georgia to Fort Meade, Maryland. So we had 7 days at home and went to Casablanca, North Africa. Got assigned to an MP outfit driving an ambulance for him. And it only lasted a couple of days. He sent me up to Oran. I was there over Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And day after Christmas, we shipped to Naples, Italy. And I was assigned to 10th Combat Engineer, where I hauled stone to fill in the roads where they've been shelled out and stuff. And that job only lasted a couple of days. And just getting ready with the invasion of Anzio, we didn't know this, but they loaded us in a truck one day and took us over to Naples. We saw these guys with 3rd Division patches on. We couldn't figure out what was going on. Loaded us on board ship and said, "You're going to Anzio." So we went into Anzio and on into Rome, and then come back, went into southern France, up through France, and into Germany.
Anzio wasn't any picnic, was it?
No, it wasn't.
Yeah. I didn't mention, you were Jason's grandfather.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But you're quite proud of him.
Yes, sir.
But then the war ended, and I had 19 months there. And you had 24 months before you'd rotate. But they started kind of weeding the older fellows out and rotating with rear echelon that hadn't been in combat or anything. And I was on the way home, back to Naples, and the war ended, and I couldn't come home because I had to get with an outfit that was coming over. They wouldn't ship individuals. So they put me with the 15th Air Force. And I stayed with them, it might have been close to a month there, then sent me back to the States. Get back here, they had no records of me. So they sent me to this Air Corps outfit, which is in Oklahoma City. Said, "Wait there till your records catch up with you." Well, they was getting ready to go to Japan. So they sent me up to Victoria, Kansas, to drive a gas truck, fueling these B-29s, just bringing back from the Pacific. We finally said, "Well, I'm going to send you to Bearfield, give you your discharge, an Air Force discharge, and your infantry discharge will catch up with you." I've never heard from them. I still haven't.
I was going to say, you might be in trouble with the infantry.
Well, I went to VA. When I've been living in Florida. I just moved back, and I went to VA to see make sure that I had my records straight in case I needed them. And he punched in the computer, says, "No record you've ever been in the service."
Oh,
So that's where it stands now.
I think they're trying to get out of the back pay, is what I think.
Well, and I got home. I got a Bronze Star there on Anns Hill. Then they sent me another Bronze Star. So the guy checked into it, and he said the second one was if he's in combat after a certain date. Well, from then on, you got the Bronze Star. So I don't know. That's all I've ever heard. Why I got the second one.
Okay.
Well, what's some of your experiences that you want to talk about?
Well,
I understand you knew somebody that everybody knows.
Oh, Audie Murphy?
Yeah. Audie Murphy.
He was in a different regiment, but his regiment went back to Naples. His regiment across the street, or road where we were at. We'd meet at one central place for a truck to ride into Naples on Pass, and you had to go three in a group. You couldn't go in for yourself. And a couple of times, Audie come in, and he and I went in town together. There's another fellow, real nice guy.
Well, Audie was he was the most decorated soldier of World War II, and I must say you're probably not that far behind.
He had been awarded the Bronze Star, or the Silver Star, for knocking the tank out. I don't know if you ever saw that, the hell and back.
Right.
The tank he knocked out, he'd gotten the Silver Star, and he was always kidding about it. We went down, and we tell him, Murphy, show you Silver Star.
Yeah.
But just joking,
If he was the most decorated, you was in the same combat area he was in, right?
Yeah.
Doing basically the same thing.
In fact, we had to help he was a squad leader then. And I never saw him after he became a lieutenant. But when he was running different times when he was still a sergeant.
Sure.
But he's quite a guy.
Did you bring any pictures?
No, I didn't. I got a whole album of not combat pictures, but pictures of the outfit and stuff.
Now, you have the Purple Heart?
I got hit 3 times.
Got hit 3 times.
Just flesh wounds, nothing serious.
I was going to say you didn't learn after the first one to stay low?
Oh, I'll tell you something. The first time, we was in reserve, and he was going up to relieve this outfit. And the machine gun opened up on us before we got up there and killed the first scout. The sergeant told me to follow the BAR man, go up the high ground. We started up, machine gun opened up on us and hit the other guy in the legs. And when it hit him, I fell, and it hit me in the side and come out in the middle of my back. Just a flesh wound. So after we finally got out of it and grew back again, the sergeant come along and asked the medics how it was, and he said he can't carry a pack. He said where his wound's at. He said, I'm going to have to send him back to the aid station. Sergeant didn't say anything. Pretty soon he'll come back. He had this. Said you can hang it over your
shoulder. Strap to carry it, so it didn't hang on your back.
So I put my stuff in it. So anyway, later on I got trench foot and got hit through the hand. So they sent me back to the Naples hospital. And when I went in there, this is all I had my stuff in. So I turned it in, and they put my serial number.
Last 4 digits of your serial number,
yeah.
Sheriff.
And when they released me, they gave me a new pack and everything, and I forgot about this. And one day my brother come home. He lived about half a mile from me. He come home, and this was laying on the front porch of his house. No address, no nothing. That was all it was. And how it got there, I don't know.
Somebody tracked you down.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll be darned.
This was back in the 80s, wasn't it?
It was probably in the 70s. when you were there, yeah.
I bet you was glad to see it.
I was shocked to see it.
Right.
But, yeah, I carried this for, I suppose, 3 or 4 weeks before I finally had to go in for trench foot. And I had forgotten about it. And here it showed up and damn worked.
Sure. Okay.
Then another time we had pulled up to this place and dug in for the night, and we was in reserve, so I was BAR man then, and my assistant.
You was BAR man?
Yeah. And my assistant gunner, you couldn't dig in. We had to pile rocks around, and we got all settled. We just walked up the top of the mountain and looked down. Whole convoy loaded up, getting ready to move out, right in the Rhone Valley. And I've read stories about it since that. It tells about it. But
that was your convoys, or was it enemy? Enemy.
Yeah.
Ah.
So I went back to run down, told the lieutenant. He said, "Well, just stay down off there." I said, "Don't let them see you." I said, "Nothing we can do about it." I said, "They're ready to go in a whole division." So I went on down and told the captain. He says, "Can you call artillery?" And I said, "I never have, but I can." So he handed me a walkie-talkie. He says, "You go up there and keep in touch." So I went back up, and it wasn't too long as a lieutenant from the artillery come up to call artillery. And the railroad track, and then a highway, and on the other side was a river. And the first shot they fired, they hit the river. And we told them drop 100 yards. They dropped it in, and the next one right in the middle of the train.
Mm.
And so they started lobbing artillery in, and the Air Corps started. They said the convoy was 11 to 12 mile long. And they started strafing from the north end of it. And I don't know how long the firing went on, but they just...
This was the German 1st Panzer Division, is that correct?
No, it was the 19th Panzer.
19th Panzer Division.
No, I'm not sure it's called a Panzer, but it was a tank. It had a lot of tanks with them, and we figured it was a Panzer up in I think it was 19.
Okay. So it took out quite a considerable amount of the enemy right there.
I forget how many thousand men that they just...
Sure.
Because everything was there. I mean, headquarters company and everything. The troops were loaded in the train. Tanks were loaded on the train. They had 2 big artillery guns. And the next day we went down through there, and they allowed us to had a place where we'd take anything we found or wanted to send home. We'd take, and had a whole stack of stuff there. So finally, when I got home, they sent it to me. A whole stack. This is what I got.
Okay.
It came from a truck where they made maps for the artillery.
Sure.
It's
oh wow,
that's a beautiful set.
Yeah.
Drafting set.
Drafting set. Yeah.
That's the only thing that I got out of a big box of stuff I picked up. Some.
You got to open the pin here.
I got you.
Can you open that up, get a shot of it?
Yeah, get it open here.
I'll get that paper on there.
These are drafting tools for working on maps, drawing maps, and these are dividers for measuring on map, measuring distance and so forth. And it's a pretty handy toolkit.
Yeah.
You picked that out of German book, you said?
Yes. Then we found a supply truck and got a pair of boots with the hobnails on them, brand new boots, still wrapped in paper. And radio. It wasn't an army, it was a house radio, wooden radio. I had those all in the box to send home, but they never made it.
So they never made it?
Somebody in the post office
That's what we figured.
pulled that out. Well, destroying that much of the enemy at that point allowed our forces to advance. And you might have changed the tide of the war right there for quite a while.
Where was this at?
It was along the Rhone Valley, just north of Besançon, France. Montlamar, France.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you hadn't got them there, you might have bumped up against them later on,
Yeah.
and that could have been tragic.
Well, we moved 75 miles there in 3 days, so that helped that a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, were you supporting
Watch your here. Be careful.
General Patton's tanks, or
After the front line we got to pass Switzerland, the front line got smaller, and they used our outfit to back other outfits up. Maybe someone would get bogged down up someplace, they'd load us, and we'd go up and back them up. We went up into Belgium doing that. And, the main 3rd Division of it stayed in Germany, but they'd take maybe
This was in 43?
yes.
Okay, you know.
Well, this had been 44.
44.
Yeah.
Okay, it was about that time when the Germans would have been running out of gasoline and
Yeah.
several other things. And
We did
so
too.
taking that many of their soldiers out of commission and their equipment really probably sped the end of the war.
Yeah.
Was you involved in the Battle of the Bulge?
We were in the South. General Patton came around south of the Bulge, and we were attached to him when he moved up through there. We were on his south flank.
You ever see Patton?
Oh, yeah.
Did you? Stay out of sight, did you?
Well, that's on his command car or something.
Was he as nice a guy as they've always said he was?
Well, I had to admire him. I mean, he was a soldier.
He's blood and guts, wasn't he?
He was a soldier. As far as, well, his outfit didn't like him because,
Well, he was pushing them all the time. That's what they didn't like.
Yeah.
But as far as his aims and his goals, he was go get them.
He had the right idea to get the war over with.
Yeah.
We got pulled off out of combat a lot of times when there was no reason for it we knew of. The higher ups always had a reason, but when we went into Danzig, there was a, if I remember right, they called it Highway 72. It ran from Rome to Casino. And we went up. I didn't go into the town, but I set up a roadblock on the outside of the town, and our outfit went into town. For some reason, they pulled us back. You know, whenever it knew, they said, well, the supply lines are too long. They couldn't.
Okay.
So then they brought the Rangers in, and Darby's Rangers. You heard about them getting, well, they brought them in, and they were supposed to win. Well, we were supposed to be on their right flank, and it was either 45th or 36th was on their left flank, move in, or they moved out ahead of us, and the Germans come around and wiped them out.
Sure.
But we had already been in the town. There's no reason for us to pull back out, but they pulled us back out.
You mentioned Besançon in France. I remember a few stories about that. Do you want to bring that up?
Oh, about going,
Hiding out there for a little while?
we was on a recon patrol and got cut off from the outfit, and we started to go back out, and the Germans was in behind us. So we found an old building there and got up in the attic of it. And we'd hear the Germans walking around there and talking and everything. We stayed in it about, well, all that day and that night and the next day before the Americans come in.
Okay.
We stayed up there in the attic.
Yeah, we tried to go back in there, and what was that, about 2000? No, that was 96, yeah. We tried to go back and find that house, and we're getting all over Besançon.
We found the area where it was in. They never rebuilt that area. But, another time, we was on a recon patrol and got up in a haymow, and our sergeant was a Polish, and these Germans come in. It started raining, and they stepped inside the door of this barn. He hollered at them in Polish, and they was Polish soldiers. And he told them, he said, come on up. He said, it's nice up here. So he got hay and everything laid on. They come crawling up the ladder and handed us our guns. We laid them back, took them prisoner. Yes.
Well, those were exciting days, weren't they?
Yes, they were. A lot of disappointments, and especially in Italy when I first joined the outfit, because the Germans still had superior air power, and they were still, big railroad gun they had just outside Naples.
Yeah.
That thing fell short one day and knocked me unconscious. And they started taking me back to the hospital. They got me back to the medics. He had a hole dug not over 100 yards from where I was at. That's as far as they got me. They couldn't get me on back to the medics. So I was in there a couple of days, and he said, "You might as well go back up to the outfit." I was like, "Here," so I went back up to the outfit.
Sure. Well, you went into Casablanca, you say?
I landed there, yeah.
You landed there?
Mm-hmm.
Then you went from there into Italy.
On to Oran. At Christmas, I was in Oran, North Africa.
Okay.
And
so you went all the way up through Italy and France and clear on up to Germany. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Was most of that walking, or did you ride trucks once in a while?
In France, when I said we made that 70 miles a day, we had to get any kind of transportation we could.
Yeah.
And get old cars that was abandoned and stuff like that. And I was riding this horse one day and come up to this house. It was one of these big Belgian horses with a big furry feet. Real nice horse. And I rode up just in the orchard outside this house and tied the horse up, and they sent me in another fella in to make sure it's secure. We went in, and there was a man, a woman, a small kid, and another fellow looked like he might be in his 20s. He didn't look like he belonged to that family. It's just to look at him. And the other guy had gone in another room, and I hollered, and I said, "I think we got something here." The guy started talking. He was a pilot that had been shot down. He was sitting there, the war was over, then he's going to turn himself in.
Oh, okay.
So we searched the place, and I found this old horse out. It looked like it was about ready to fall over, real skinny, sway back. Told the guy, "I'm going to take your horse." Well, he just begged me, and I took his horse and let it out. Took her back up and tied it up to this tree and led that big Belgian horse out and threw him.
That was a good trade for him,
yeah,
right?
It's stuff like that you like to remember. You know?
Yeah. What was it? Your friend, the captain, what was his name? Not Miller. The captain you always talked about.
Captain Williams?
Williams, yes, thank you. Any stories about him?
Yeah. Just a lot of things that I'd just rather not remember.
I find that name ironic because one of my first duty stations, I had Captain Miller or Captain Williams also, and I always wonder if it's...
You know, when I was with the infantry over there, we were closer than brothers. I mean, you get to where...
Yes.
And there's only about 4 left in the outfit, and a couple of them had been wounded and go back up, but there was... Captain Williams had never been wounded. And there's a couple other that hadn't been wounded. And when I left that outfit and started home, first place they sent me this Air Force outfit, or Air Corps. And one of the first things they asked me is, "What shift did you work?"
Yeah, right.
I said, "What do you mean, what shift do you work?"
24/7. Yeah.
And so anyway, everything they started talking about just... I mean, it's like a different world, like they'd never even been in the war. I got back to the States, so I met my wife. The first time she introduced me to her uncle, she was living with her uncle. He said, "I sure wish this war had lasted a couple more years, so I could have had my house paid for."
Yeah.
And just stuff like that. You just, well, I hate to admit it, I got drinking pretty heavy when I got home, and I suppose if today they'd call it delayed stress syndrome, but I met my wife. That's one of the things that saved me.
Yeah.
Her dad was permanent disabled in the Dayton Hospital.
Okay.
And she had a brother killed in invasions in North Africa, and she had another brother who was 100%. He wasn't in the hospital. He was smoking home 100% disabled. So I could talk to her.
So she'd seen some hard times too. Yeah. I get a kick when you're talking about Air Force and what shift did you work, because the ground pounders always think of the Air Force and those guys sleeping in a nice cot,
Yeah.
you know. A little different.
Yeah.
You said you used a BAR.
Yeah, off and on.
I understand they're still using that BAR.
Are they? Oh,
Yeah.
Limited, but
that
still
was
around.
one of the best
Yeah.
weapons we had, even better than the machine guns. It's maneuverable. And of course, they'd get put in the hospital 2 or 3 times, and they give it to somebody else. And as soon as they get hit, well, I'd get it back. I was always glad to get it back.
Well, he was always a target carrying that as
That's
far
what-
as
yeah.
that's concerned. They seek those BAR men out.
They said 11 seconds in combat. That's what they told me again. They said you'll last 11 seconds. I don't know if they're into it or not, but
As soon as somebody sees you,
yeah.
Yeah. Well, Korea, we used the leftovers of World War II. So.
No.
And we did also.
Did you? Oh, a lot
Yeah.
of you did, yeah.
probably.
I carried the Tommy gun into Cisterna, the first little town we hit when we left Anzio. We had what they called street fighting teams. They took Tommy guns, and we'd go ahead of the outfit from door to door. And we went in, and the other guy was in the door back here, and I moved up here, and I motioned for him to come out, and he walked right in the middle of the street and fell over. I don't know if he got hit walking out or he got hit before. So they sent another guy up with us, and hit a sniper in a tar had hit this guy. So we got up there, and I got an M1, and then we called the bazooka up. The bazooka man finally got him out of there. But when the town was secured, we drew back and give us a rest. It had been better than 2 days that we fought to get into town, no sleep, and we was all just about ready to drop. And there was always majors and colonels for these newsmen when they come up,
Sure, they went to glory.
and they wanted us to reenact how we got that. So I started to crawl up like we did yet. Oh, no, we got to get up here and take your picture. So I walked up there and stand straight up shooting at it.
Yeah.
I saw that picture at different times in different magazines. It's always a different place.
Whether you was there or not.
But the guy's rifle I borrowed was standing right beside me with my Tommy gun, and the other guy there was a Tommy gun. It's funny how some of that news gets mixed up when it gets back here.
Well, first of the war, I think anyone that went into the war, they was in for the duration, wasn't
Yeah.
they? Yeah. You mentioned when it was a 24-month rotation when you was in.
Yeah, we had a master sergeant or a tech sergeant that he was up for rotation. He was a full-blooded Blackfoot Indian, and his ancestor, one of his ancestors, served for Custer. And that's all he knew was Army. And he wouldn't take his rotation. Never been hit. Went in North Africa, never had a scratch. And we got up into France. They finally made him take it. So he come home and come back, and he was so disgusted with people back here.
Yeah.
How they talk, and that happened. Didn't know. Well, I had an incident. I met a lady there in Van Wert one day. And she hadn't told me a while. I wonder where I'd been. I said, I was over in Germany. What's she doing over there?
Yeah.
And I told her. She said, well, I thought we was fighting the Japanese.
Yeah.
Of course, they didn't have television then, and all they did was read in the paper.
I think that's one reason that vets generally didn't talk to the public about what they'd done, is because the public couldn't understand.
And gentlemen, I hate to interrupt. We're out of time again. I want to thank you, all three of you, for being here. And thank you, all of you, for your service.
Appreciate your service, gentlemen.
So if you, remember, freedom is not free. So if you meet a veteran or someone in uniform, just walk up to them, shake their hands, say thank you for your service. Thank you, and good night.